Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nilesh, and I am representing Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. And I am sharing, our energy storage experience, grid level energy storage experience of 10 megawatt hour battery energy storage in Delhi. Let me introduce. We are the Tata Power Delhi Distribution, a Delhi-based utility and working in North and Northwest Delhi in 510 square kilometer area, and a peak demand of around 2000 megawatt. This is the global trend. In earlier presentation, it has been indicated that the battery storage is becoming more viable option for balancing the power. And from this graph and the global trend, it is very, imminent to see that in Korea, China, US, and Japan, the percentage of the storage is increasing day by day. So, battery storage, two things. One is the available technologies, and secondly, the cost are making them viable in the grids for the balancing the renewable generations. This is a good news that the battery price trends are reducing. It was 1,160 in 2010, and which has reduced $176 per kilowatt hour in 2018. And a recent Bloomberg report indicates that it is likely that it will reach around $100 per kilowatt hour by 2023. So when it will reach $100 per kilowatt hour, hopefully it will be the best and viable option for the grid storages. So far as the India, another good news is that the Indian lithium-ion battery storage, the manufacturing has already started. The Suzuki has started, the battery storage plant in Gujarat. Lithium Energy has purchased 125-acre land in Tamil Nadu. They are coming up with battery storage. Manufacturing. Tata Chemicals is also starting, the lithium-ion battery manufacturing in Gujarat. And Exide has recently joined hand with, the Switzerland-based Leclanche, and the Next Charge is the new company they found. And hopefully by this year end, they will also start, the battery, lithium-ion battery manufacturing. So in Indian context, there is a good news that the battery manufacturing has already started. What are the applications? Around 1 year back, we have commissioned our 10 megawatt battery storages, and these are few applications we are trying to use them. The demand side management and the peak reduction. Peak reduction is the major application, as a utility we are trying to use. Energy arbitrage, deviation settlement management, frequency regulation, and renewable farming, transmission distribution system deferral, the capex deferral what we are exploring, and obviously the microgrids for which, the battery application is, suggested. So this is something we are looking forward to make the battery storage as the viable option. One is the indigenous manufacturing. There is a good work has already happened. Innovation and participation for the data analytics, and the logics need to be developed to take the immediate corrective action. The business model to phase out the capex, because the battery prices were very high right now, which are likely to come down in next 2-3 years. Clarity of underlying rule for the regulations, on which a lot of work is going on. And as discussed and one question asked, the battery disposal policy also need to be in place if in a big way, if the battery will come up in future years. So this is, representation. The two battery pilots, we have installed in Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. One is a 10 megawatt grid level storage, and second one is what we call community storage, which is 600 kilowatt hour capacity, is 150, for 4 hours capacity. We have, selected the location of the battery storage in such a way that it is well interconnected with up to 220 kV grid substations, such that, we can use that for the transmission as well as the start power for the generation, as well as an emergency power to the important customers like Delhi Metro and all. And as well, we have selected the site for the, the community storage in such a way that more of important loads like hospitals are in that area, such that during the emergency, the battery can be used to take care of that. Along with the application I highlighted, like a peak load management and during the deviation settlement mechanism. So this is a picture of, the 10 megawatt BESS we inaugurated in last February 2019. So these are some pictures, of the battery storage. Now let us come to the architecture. This is what the battery storage. We are using lithium-ion battery supplied by the LG, and the Fluence has provided the battery management system and software management for that. This is a typical architecture of 10 megawatt hour battery storage. We have the batteries, inverter. We have 10 megawatt in terms of 4 legs, 2.5 megawatt each. We have the battery management system. We have the market dispatch unit. We have interconnected with our own SCADA, and we are monitoring and controlling that from the SCADA. So this is a more granular, the architecture of 10 megawatt hour battery storage. We have 14 numbers of battery in each, the node, and there are 31 battery, each battery of 6.5 kilowatt hour capacity, and there are 4 cores of 2.5 megawatt each. This is also a single line diagram. We have interconnected the battery through isolation transformers, and we have interconnected on 11 kV bus. So 4 11 kV interconnection we have done through the battery, and then it is connected to a 66 kV grid station. So these are some technical, the specification: energy density in the range of 110 to 140, cycle life 5000. Till date we have used around 200 cycles in a year's time. The calendar life is 10 years. Round trip efficiency, the declared one is 87 to 89%. We found in the range of 85 to 86%. And ambient temperature, we are trying to maintain 23 degrees centigrade by, deployment of 200 ton, air conditioning for the unit. These are some switchgears and protection. We have a dedicated, hydrant system, fire protection system. We have, the numerical relays well connected with the SCADA and its own control system and battery management system. There are 4 LV panels of ABMEC, in the MNS panel, the main breaker 4000 amperes, and LVHV switchgear connected, through the SCADA. Now the applications, the first application I would like to highlight is an ancillary market, that is the frequency regulation. You all know that we need to operate in the grid in the range of 49.90 to 50.05. So this is the only application in which the automatic algorithm we have developed, and in the range of 49.9 to 50.05, automatically between these two bands, automatically battery charging and discharging is happening, through the automatic. So this is one in the ancillary market. Still, it is shaping now, and there are no, the clear-cut guidelines available for the ancillary market so far as the battery storage is concerned. But still, frequency-based automatic logic is being worked in our 10 megawatt battery storage. Frequency regulation, obviously it is doing with automatic. The slope is 2 megawatt per 0.01 hertz. The discharge is between 49.85 to 49.80, and the charging will happen automatically between 50.05 to 50.1, and the deadband is 49.85 to 50.05. The viability of the application of the battery storage for the utility, this is a typical figure what we have collected, that, in a reserve regulation ancillary services in the northern grid, around 550 million units has been used to balance and to maintain the northern grid in the band of 49.9 to 50.05. So there is a huge potential, and this is something, the fastest, responding batteries can be used to take care of, this huge number of million units which has been, put into the grid through the various generating plants. So these are our experience and some pictures. These are the best frequency response. You could see, the response of the frequency and, the charging and discharging decision happen in our 10 megawatt. Power management through the deviation, because for the every utility deviation settlement mechanism and the penalty to be paid for that, are very important. So for the DSM also, we have effectively used the 10 megawatt battery storage to the best possible limits. These are our peak load curves. You could see that the morning and evening peak are there, and during that peak time, the short of power which has been used to the charging and discharging of the battery storages. So this is 50 to 60 megawatt is the delta, which is the shortage. So out of that, 36 megawatt is, our band limit. So 10 megawatt we are using to avoid the penalties which are supposed to be paid for the overdrawal. Opportunities. This is a simple picture. which indicates every red line is indicating that if the sign change do not happen, with every 6 cycle you are supposed to pay the penalty, and during which the battery can play a very important role in that. And you could see that the number of sustained deviation what we experienced in year 1920 are around 760 deviations we experienced, and which amount to be 592 lakhs for the year 1920. So this is what the potential we can use by using the battery to avoid, the penalties, which is a direct cost to the utilities. This is a curve, this is a typical day, this is a day of, 26 December on which there was a solar eclipse, and on which, this is what, the load curve is. Because of the various reasons, despite your accurate forecasting, you will end up in a problem and you will end up in a withdrawal. In such condition, battery can play a very important role. So on that day, we have used battery very effectively, because there was suddenly, just after completion of, the eclipse, the heating load has increased suddenly. So such situation occurs in a load curve, and the utilities can very well use, this is the usage, every month how much charging and discharging we have done through the 10 megawatt battery storage indicates. So around 2 to 3 instances of 2.5 megawatt up to 10 megawatt we have used in the last financial year, and around 200 cycles we have effectively used in last summer. These are the typical pictures of charging and discharging of the batteries. This is the savings from, the deviation, because the two major applications we have utilized, one is a deviation settlement mechanism and another is a peak load management, and we envisage that around 2 crores of saving can be done by avoiding the penalties, for our network. Reactive power management, we are trying to use the reactive power management for the reactive drawal as well as reactive pumping into the grid. And these are some pictures, where around 5 megawatt of 5 MVARH reactive power injection we have done. And these are, advanced one is the Fluence software what we are using to maintain the battery. And these are few pictures I will quickly cover. It is indicating state of charge, it is indicating the temperatures, it is indicating the battery capacity, every node status also it is indicating, and which is being monitored remotely at our SCADA center, which is also, the node-wise temperature monitoring, because the temperature is very important to be maintained for the battery storage solution. And this is what I mentioned earlier. This is a community storage, because one is a grid-based solution, and this is a container-based solution what we are using in our, the power distribution substations. So this is 150 kilowatt for 4 hours, 600 kilowatt hour capacity, and this is being installed recently, and this will be used in the next summer. Way forward, obviously the scalability, lot of regulation is expected, evaluation of the cost benefit analysis, the reduction of the cost in the batteries, inclusion of the base as a generator, policy advocacy need to be done, we are doing that, and the CRC is supposed to come up with a proper policy, consideration of base in RRAS, the base to be categorized under the secondary and the fast acting tertiary ancillary services, because that is the future, and obviously the inclusion of base for the forecasting, scheduling and dispatching. And the last, one experience in the last 1 year is, the auxiliary power consumption. So we need to have the battery solutions with the less auxiliary consumption, because, all utilities are very sensitive towards aggregate technical commercial losses. So when the batteries to be revolved as a solution for, the balancing the power, it need to have a very low auxiliary power consumption. So these are the learning. Thank you very much.